Hi, everyone. It's Lee Mitchell here live on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So, incredible opportunity for us all to discuss our discussion topic today on Tuesday, which is how we can create more impact and purpose in our work and our businesses. So I'm so lucky to have Pam Ross and Jill Valentine today on our broadcast. And maybe what I'll do is just get you both to introduce yourselves and say a little bit about who you are and why this topic is important to you. So I'll start with Pam.
Sure. So thank you so much for having this discussion because I believe that we spend far too much time, about 90,000 hours of our life at work for it to suck, and finding meaning and purpose is such an important part of making work awesome, which is what we do in my company, Blue Rebel Works. So thank you for leading this discussion.
And so I'm Jill Valentine, one of the co-founders of You Go Travel for Change, and I'm a transformative travel and social impact coach. And I take people on powerful life coaching journeys to discover more purpose in their life, more to help them to develop a greater sense of self, of meaning, so that they can be happier, both at work, just in life in general. I absolutely love what Pam does. So I'm so excited to have you here too. That's awesome.
Awesome. And I love what you do. I feel inspired to create some sort of like workshop / business coaching, leadership coaching, travel abroad trip with purpose. We'll have to talk more, Jill.
Absolutely. Love it.
So both of you have, I think, great perspectives on this topic, and we invite everybody that's listening to enter into the conversation. You know, what challenges do you have around creating more purpose in your work, as well as in your, so as maybe as a business owner or as someone who works for another organization? What are the steps that you can take to have more purpose in your work so that you feel like you're contributing to a greater sense of being, and also, giving back and that sort of thing. So, lots of great ways in which we can discuss with people that come online, but also I'm so excited to hear your perspectives on this. So maybe Pam, you can start.
Sure. So, in the work we do a lot of work with organizations to identify their purpose. So that's like a whole other level. If you are leading an organization, creating an actual purpose that is not a monetary financial purpose or like one of these mission statements like to be the biggest restaurant company in the world or whatever, but a purpose around like the impact you're going to have on the customers you serve, on the community around you, like that's excellent. So if you are running an organization, start there. If you are a team leader, even if your organization does not have some aspirational purpose that you feel connected to, you can still work with your team and talk about, and some of this is kind of Simon Sinek's, he has a book called Start with Why, which probably lots of people have seen or read, but he also has Find Your Why, which kind of walks you through a bit of a process to find your why, and for teams, individuals, etc. And so and some of this is his and some of this is kind of stuff we've added on to it, but really thinking about the times when your team felt really engaged and positive and proud of the work they were doing, and thinking about why and what was the impact that they were having on people that helped them feel that way. So you can start to find themes and figure out what your team's purpose is. So that's team leaders. Now, if I'm an individual in an organization and my team leader didn't do that and my organization didn't come up with a purpose, you can always, though, take some responsibility to figure out what's the impact I have. What if my job didn't exist? What would fall down in the organization? How can I show up differently so that even if my job might not be something that's super engaging or meaningful, the impact I have and the way I show up every day can have a positive impact on people. So really thinking about your own like legacy that you're living every day. Don't wait until the end of your life to be thinking about your legacy. You can be creating your legacy in every interaction that you have, no matter what your position is. Like if you are, and I always think, because my background is restaurants and retail, if you're the cashier at a grocery store, or if you're the bartender in a bar, or even the dishwasher in a restaurant, how you're interacting with your coworkers, how you're interacting with your customers or guests, that is like you're leaving a legacy every time. You can make someone's day. And just with you making someone's day, that can transform things for them, for that week and longer. So I just encourage people to get clear about how do I want to leave every interaction, and just be more intentional about the way they're showing up, because that can create some meaning for you.
Mm-hmm. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about creating more purpose in your work and business, and how you can level up your impact. So I'm here live with Pam Ross and Jill Valentine. And if you're watching live, we'd really love you to put into the chat that you're here, say hi. If you have questions, we have two amazing experts on our line here today. And also we want to hear your perspectives in things that you're doing to create more impact and purpose in your work. So Jill, you probably have so much to contribute on this topic. As you know, I've gone on your Yugo Travel for Change trip to Costa Rica, and we had incredible experiences. And I personally saw the transformation happening in both the participants that were on the our trip, and also in me personally. So maybe you can share a little bit about that. And I just want to say hi to Maya. Maya, I'd love to hear what you do and how you're trying to create more purpose in your work. So Jill, why don't you start us off and tell us a bit about how you create more impact and purpose in your work, and what you've seen through your work.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. So I love everything that Pam said, because it's so true that we do spend so much time in our occupation, whatever that might be, whether it's job or, being an entrepreneur, and infusing that social purpose. Like there has been so much research done on how giving back, helping the planet, helping others just makes you happier. It makes you healthier. It decreases stress. Like there are so many positive benefits. And if you can infuse that into your life, into your family, into your job, your business, whatever that is, there's like only positive things that can come out if you do it properly and everything like that. And that's one of the big things that we do when we do take people through our coaching program, which includes a volunteer experience abroad. We really help them dive in and understand, as Pam mentioned, like, what do you want your legacy to be? It's great that a lot of us sort of serve, for lack of a better word, a lot of our clients come from privilege, but it's that, like, how can my business do even more to help? How can I really make that difference in the world? Potentially save lives, in another part of the world or locally. How can we, do something to advance perhaps the UN sustainable goals? And that's something I recommend for people that are kind of like, I don't even know where to start. Take a look at those. Take a look at what the UN has declared as some of the key things that are needed to improve the world. Everything from gender equality to, poverty alleviation, to the planet and climate change. There are so many issues to be tackled. And then it's discovering what of that sort of lights you up, what brings passion or anger, to be honest. What makes you so angry when you hear about, the injustices in the world, or so devastated at, the suffering that's happening? And do something either through your work. I love that Pam mentioned, like, even if you have a job that doesn't seem to be connected in some way to this kind of social purpose, that you can do something individually. I remember being a server, as you mentioned, and a bartender, and deciding that a certain amount of my tips I would donate. And that made my job seem that much more fulfilling than just, slinging beers across the bar kind of thing. So I love that. And yeah, and a big thing is discovering your values, like who you are, so you can have that clarity around what's important to you and how to infuse it more into your life. And if you're a business, one of the first things I recommend is doing a bit of an audit, looking at the systems and processes, partnerships that you have in place, your suppliers, to make sure to begin with, you're not doing harm. So looking at, companies and thinking, hey, if I give out swag, can I at least make it ethical swag that's not damaging the environment? There are so many small things we can do. If I'm going to hire a catering company, maybe I can make it, a beautiful social enterprise that's trying to train homeless youth on becoming chefs. There are so many small ways that you can infuse into your business through partnerships, through your suppliers, just how you do business and who you engage with in your business. So that would be some sort of the entrepreneurial thing. Just starting with that. Do you have policies and processes in place to make sure that, we're giving good medical benefits, like all of those things that really do have an impact on sort of a better world?
I love all of those ideas. Especially I like looking at like things like, the swag and how, you're thinking about like what's the impact of this to the world, and how is it going to be perceived, and is it going to make a better difference? Like if you could support a company that is doing good, it's great to collaborate with companies that you can make the benefits of what you need to do with your swag, like get more reach and that sort of thing, but also help an organization that could benefit from your outreach. So I want to welcome Maya and Willie and Angela to our live broadcast here. Thanks for joining. Maya is an implementation director, and on a daily basis is continuing to socialize and make a difference at home and work. I know a lot of people maybe don't get exactly what they want to do with their business or their work, so they look for ways to volunteer. Pam, maybe you could talk about what you are seeing through your consulting business in making work awesome. How are they doing that to feel a sense of purpose and giving back and maybe volunteering?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely lots of companies that do things like give employees a certain number of days off for volunteering. So that's great. There's lots of companies that get people together to go and do something to volunteer together. One of the entrepreneurs in Toronto at Bargains Group has, I don't know if you know Jody, my brain is not working well right now, but with her Project Water and Project Winter Survival, they, companies can bring teams together to, package kits for the homeless and, do something that is meaningful. And because I think there's some people that feel like they don't have power to create these programs. I just want to encourage people to think about, you always have an opportunity to do something, even if your company doesn't give you the program. And I'm thinking back to when I was working in some companies that didn't have any real like giving kind of policy or practice or anything. And a couple of the things I did. So one was we did like a little bake trade thing, bake exchange at Christmas time. And so everyone made their recipes, and then we actually packaged a little recipe book and sold it and donated the funds. So it was like just total grassroots. It's not like the company was sanctioning this thing, but everyone found out that our little team was doing it. And so many people wanted to be involved because it was meaningful and impactful. So another company, I started doing holiday hampers, right? I reached out to some community centers and asked about, were there families that needed things over the holidays. And so, getting their holiday dinner supplies and meals and some clothes for the kids, and getting everyone together to do that. And again, you don't have to be the leader of a company to do these things. You just have to ask the person who sits beside you or who is in a Zoom call with you and say, like, hey, would you be interested in doing this with me? And you can do it. So like, these are and the company, once they realize and see the engagement that happens when they're doing this, there is an opportunity maybe for them to kind of buy in more and create the experiences. But you can always make some kind of impact. So.
I love that example. And Angela McDonald shares that, it's so important to lead with purpose, and many large organizations are offering fundraising matching. I know with Salesforce, we do this annual tournament, and the money goes to a school that helps children with severe disabilities, and they do the matching. Salesforce does. So we so appreciate that, and such a great example of companies like looking, like, you get it started and we'll add to it. So that's a great way to make an impact and to work as a team and collaborate. So Jill, we have our Level Up Impact Club, and a few of our members are on the line today, Willie and Angela, who are participating and are both members of our Impact Club. What do Women in Biz members get from this amazing program that we have the last Tuesday of the month at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? You're the facilitator of that. What are you seeing happening with our members?
What I think is awesome is that they all are showing up really in a way that is vulnerable and ready to connect and support each other. And I think that, that's the kind of environment that anybody, needs. And I think that is probably something that, Pam goes into workplaces too. And in the giving back, you're fostering relationships, you're fostering trust, you're fostering, having a bit of fun. And I think that's what's really happening in our group is we're connecting with each other, we're feeling supported, and then the activities and exercises we go through are helping people become just more confident, more clear on things like their business goals, how they do want to impact the world. And that idea of creating sort of conscious capitalism, it's an incredible idea around, what Pam mentioned earlier. It's no longer just about profit. It's about businesses doing good and profiting. And some of the big companies, it's a little too much for them to shift entirely, but they do run amazing corporate social responsibility programs. But I think what's great is a lot of the women in the Women in Biz network are sort of at that, not small in terms of entrepreneurship, but they're not running like multi-billion-dollar corporations. So they have that ability to be nimble and to infuse that giving back and impact into their business, as we talked about. And the benefits are so huge, like Pam was saying, that ability to engage and connect and bring employees together to really do something of purpose. And beyond that, engaging clients. It's an incredible win-win-win when a company does good, and gives to a community organization, brings their clients in as well. And just everybody feeling that incredible sense of fulfillment. And again, just developing trust. That's one of the best things that a business can do with their, all of their partners, all of their stakeholders, and giving back and sort of having an opportunity to create impact is such an incredible opportunity to bring all of your stakeholders together. It's actually, there's conscious capitalism, stakeholder capitalism, care capitalism. There's been so many terms around it, but that idea of being a company that does want to do more and has their employees more engaged and more conscious about their impact on the world. So yeah, the group is incredible group of women, super supportive, so amazing. And being able to dive into all of these kind of topics and talk about all of the different facets of business and running a business has been incredible. I've absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and you're a fantastic facilitator. You are able to help us to create more personal impact in our lives as well, right? So looking at ways in which we are focused on, our tendencies and, where we may procrastinate and when we're feeling overwhelmed because, as they say, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first in order to help others. The analogy from being in a plane. And I believe, Pam, you can really talk to employee burnout and a business owner burnout. If we're not taking care of ourselves and we're not looking at the things that are going to move us forward and being really, careful about what we say no to so that we have more energy and time and the ability to say yes to things that really matter to us. Like, what are those things that you really want to make time for? What is important to you? What makes a difference in your life? So maybe you could talk a bit about that, because in order for us to make more impact in the world, we have to make more impact in our lives and free up time for the things that matter to us.
Yeah, and I think, that's one of the many things that the pandemic has taught us is how, so first of all, so many employees are going through burnout or approaching burnout right now. And there is a process of stages that you go through as you approach actual burnout, which is full on kind of depression plus. And one of the stages that people go through is kind of revaluing their life and recognizing that the things they thought were important aren't anymore. And so this is one of the reasons why having purpose and really having a mission that is about more than profit, that is about community and creating a positive impact on the world is so important for companies now, because employees are like feeling the life being sucked out of them every day, going to work or going to their Zoom call every day. And companies are continuing to add to what needs to be done to make people do more with less, and prioritizing, as someone said to me the other day, priority, when the word was first made, there was no plural version, because you're supposed to have a priority, not multiple priorities, which means nothing's a priority, right? And what I am seeing time and time again in organizations is they have multiple priorities, and prioritizing should be a subtractive activity where you're taking away things that are not a priority. So your people are coming to work and seeing multiple priorities, feeling overwhelmed with the amount of work they have to do, meanwhile going through a pandemic and feeling that dissonance of their personal values. I love what you said, Jill, about getting clear on your personal values. So people are reevaluating what's really important. And if your company does not allow people to have some meaning and purpose, then people will leave. And I am seeing so many studies right now that are saying, 49% of millennials or Gen X will leave if you don't have flexibility. The importance of being able to feel like you're making an impact, and people are being more likely to leave now because of that. So it's kind of I think of 2020 was the pandemic year, and this year of just complete change and disruption. And this year, I hope it's a bit more and a lot of racial reckoning and that sort of thing. I think this year should be the reckoning of organizations realizing they have to be focused on more than profit, and they have to bring meaning into the workplace.
Yeah, I know for myself personally, when I was feeling a bit depressed and down and kind of questioning the value of what I was creating through Women in Biz Network, about 5 years ago, and I was feeling kind of depressed. I had what I think I would coin as entrepreneurial depression. I really had to get back to, getting back to am I making a difference? And it's not about, how many people I can fill a room because of me. It's, there's better things to focus on. And so one of the things that we focus on now, and I'm so proud of, is diversity and inclusion, and the importance of letting organizations know how much it makes a difference to your profits, but also just making a sense of belonging and, for everyone to feel included and valued, not just, the white male in the company, that everybody feels that they, got to see it to believe it. So I love what you were talking about, Pam, in terms of burnout and also, the fact that millennials really want to feel that they're, able to make a difference and have flexibility and that sort of thing. So great points there. And Angela is saying that it's important to remember that any purpose initiative that gets measured gets managed. So that's great. I think knowing the numbers helps you to be able to justify making changes. And sometimes we have to take a leap of faith, but it makes sense to move forward, and you start to see the results. There's a lot of studies that show that companies that are diverse just perform better. They have better decision makers. There's a range of opinions that recognize, all customers' thought processes, not just a select few. So, Jill, we're getting towards the end of our conversation. What are 3 things that you think that an employee or a business owner can do to create more? What are your top 3 things that you could do to create more purpose and impact in your work? And I'll also have Pam answer the same question.
So a quick 3, I would say, is to, 1, do a bit of a sort of a harm reduction audit. Look at what you have going on in your life, whether that's personal, work, business, wherever you work, and look at ways you can just make changes to the current practices that can make a positive. Even at home, I just switched from bottled shampoo to bars to just reduce the amount of plastic. So doing a bit of an audit, all the things that are happening in your life and how you can just make simple, small changes. The same with the business, right? How can you reduce the amount of paper you use? How can you change, like we said, to ethical swag? So that would be 1. The next would be to think about, and this is a little activity I do, think about on your 102nd birthday, if someone was talking about you and giving a speech and celebrating what you had achieved in your life, what would that legacy be? What difference would you have made in the world? And start there in terms of, what can you do? And are you doing anything even, to head in that direction at all? So really think about what difference do you want to make? What legacy, as we spoke about. And my biggest thing, take that small step, like Pam mentioned. Do that, bake sale drive at work to raise a bit of money, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be some huge, massive project or program where you're going to change the entire business. It's that first small step so that you can gain momentum and see what you like and see what's really turning you on, see what's working, and then continue to build from there.
I think those are great ideas. Willie mentions that knowing and sticking to your values and vision in life and business is really important. I want to also say hi to Nina. And Pam, you can close us off with your suggestions around how to make more purpose and impact in your business and career and life.
Yeah. So first, I just love the suggestion from Jill, just bringing that ethical lens to everything that you do, every supplier you deal with, every client you deal with, just really thinking about that as one of your filters. So I'm going to kind of add that to our practices. So thank you for that. So a few things come to mind. One is set a goal for volunteering or donating. So, maybe you decide maybe it's only just 1% right now, right? Maybe you just decide at 1% at the end of the year, I'm going to donate. So set some sort of goal so that you can track it and see that kind of accomplishment and do that. Secondly, just don't wait for someone else to give you meaning. Find it for yourself so you can always do something. There is no need to wait for someone else to tell you what your purpose is. You can find it. And so one of the tips for that is even just a simple reflection at the end of the day, asking, when did I show up and make a positive difference in the different interactions I had? And when did I maybe not show up in the best way? And what do I want to do differently tomorrow? And just just every day, check in with yourself to see what you're doing. And because my third thing is, it doesn't always, you may not get the opportunity to work for an organization that has a really deep purpose and meaning, but you can do something different every day, whether it's like a random act of kindness, just something to make someone's day. So, just every day ask, like, whose day can I make today? And that may mean reaching out to someone, a neighbor who's alone, right, through this pandemic. It may mean, here in Ontario, we just had that brutal terrorism murder of the Muslim family. Reach out to a Muslim family in your neighborhood, or a Muslim employee that maybe you don't know, just to show support and compassion for them. Like, just find the small things that you can do to make a difference for someone, because that's where, for me, that's where I get a lot of meaning, is knowing I made a difference for someone.
I just love both of your suggestions. Excellent things to take away. So how can people learn more about what you do? What's the best way for them to interact with you both?
So I'm at bluerebelworks.com is our website, or just find me, Pam Ross, on LinkedIn, and just tell me why you're reaching out, and I would love to connect.
Absolutely. And I'm the same. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. Always happy to personally connect. We also have a Yugo Changemakers group on Facebook, which is all about, living your best life through giving back and being a change maker. So yeah, connect there. And our website is UGO impact.com.
Excellent. And you have a trip coming up, which Women in Biz Network members can save. So just quickly, if you could tell us where we're going and when, and just tell us quickly about your trip.
Yeah. So we have our Courage Community Kilimanjaro program running in early 2022. It's a 3-month coaching program that will help you gain clarity, confidence in the community to live the life you want to live and do all the things. And it includes 2 weeks abroad in Tanzania. So that's 1 week of volunteering with Dare Women's Foundation and 1 week climbing Kilimanjaro. And it is absolutely transformative and life-changing. And I would be just so honored if we had some Women in Biz Network members join us. It's going to be incredible. We ran it in 2019. And it was absolutely life-changing for our participants. So yeah, that would be fabulous.
Great. So anyone can reach out to myself, Lee Mitchell. I'm the founder of Women in Biz Network, as well as Be Happy HR, your diverse talent hive. It's been an honor to have both Pam and Jill on this live broadcast. And please reach out, people that are listening. Keep the questions coming. We're happy to answer them. And anyone looking to find Women in Biz, and go to Women in Biz Network, and that's biznetwork.com, or Be Happy, which is in BEE, happyhr.com. Thanks, ladies. It was lots of fun.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Lee.